So hello everybody. So in today's session, let us discuss with the next continuation topic of the previous concept of module 2. So in the previous session, in the module 2, we had discussed with a few of the concept that is one is with the basic file attributes and its permission, followed by next is shell interpretive cycle. So these two chapters content have been discussed. The second chapter continuation, that is shell interpretive cycle concept chapter, has been continued again in today's session. So in today's session, let us discuss with the next topic, that is wildcards. So in the previous session, we had discussed that is what actually a shell interpretive cycle means. So in the shell interpretive cycle, we have understood once we give the command, the shell command, how it is going to interpret that command and how it is going to process that command and finally get you the output. So that we have discussed. So we do have the procedure, or we do have what the working of it, how the shell is going to interpret it. So here if I consider any command it might be any command, ls command or who command, so how it is going to interpret. So usually when we consider with the shell command, that is we key in the shell command. So once we logged into a system, once the terminal has been opened in the system, as soon as the system has been logged in, so terminal, it will be idle until you key in something. So once you key in some input to the terminal, then only it is going to active. So here once the command line has been provided as an input, the shell, what it does is, so shell is going to interpret the command. Okay, so whatever in the command line, usually what do we have? The command itself followed by the option followed by arguments, right? So it has to interpret all these content in that particular command line. What is that option is all about? What is the file argument you have given? And if any special symbols have been provided for that command line, like star, question mark, like that, so even it has to interpret the meaning of it. So all these things will be interpreted first, thus that will be identified, evaluated, completely it will be interpreted. Later, and after interpreting and evaluating that, the complete process of it will be done or passed to what? The kernel. So the kernel is the one which is going to execute that command line which has been identified and interpreted by the shell, and until the kernel is going to get the output of it, shell is going to wait until the notice of termination of that execution. Once it has got, it is going to execute, it is going to prompt for the user for entering the next command once again. So this is what the shell interpretive cycle, or how it is going to work. And also in the previous session, we had discussed with one more concept, that is wildcards in the shell interpreter cycle. So what does this wildcard does here? So in this wildcard, it is nothing but if the user, as I said, if I consider a command, so in the command, if I have any special characters, so how do I interpret or evaluate that special character? So what is the meaning of it, those special characters? So all those characters for matching any argument within the file argument what we have provided as an argument to a command. So for matching that, we are going to use this wildcards. So those special character itself is nothing but a wildcard here. So it is usually used for matching any kind of a pattern within a file argument in the Unix system. So here I have specified with a few of the wildcards like star, question mark. This we call it as the square bracket. What has been specified, we call this as a character class. Okay, and we do have two kinds of character class which has been specified inside that, the matches, how it is going to match these character within the character class. So let me go one by one. So already we have discussed this star, question mark, even this also have been discussed with a example in the previous session. So let me consider this first one, the star. So if I have given a command like this, that is ls chap star. So what does this mean? So this is the special symbol or the wildcard which has been provided for that command. So this is going to match after chap whatever the character it has. Any character, might be an alphabetical character, might be a simple a question, it might be a numeric character, hyphen, underscore, whatever it is. So that character will be matched by the star, even none is going to be matched. So that is what the star meaning is. So after chap it might be anything, chap 1, chap B, chapter 03, or it might be chapter I underscore, chapter hyphen, like this. So any character with the numeric or an alphabetic, that will be matched with the star. Next, what does this question mark does? So single character, so it is going to match a single character. So if I have given the command like ls, if I have given the command like ls chap question mark, so this is going to match a single character after chap, only a single character, even that can be any character. Okay, next, what is this ijk which has been specified with the square bracket? We call the square bracket as what? Character class in the Unix. So what is this character class inside it? It is going to match. So whatever the content we have provided within this character class ijk, a single character is going to be matched either I or j or k. So either of these three character it is going to match, either I, j or k. Next is, what is this x to z? So let me consider an example for this also. ls chap, okay, so 1, 2 and 3. Even it can have a numeric also. Here I have specified with alphabetic characters. So even you can have numeric characters also. So if I have specified within the square bracket like this, so this is going to match with chap 1, either chap 1, either 2 or chapter 3. Either of these three files if it is there within the current directory. So all these three files is going to be matched. Next is the x to z range. So here it has been specified with the range. So it is going to match a single character that is within the ASCII range of characters, that is x and z. So between this it is going to match. Next we have negating this character class. Negating this character class means whatever the characters I have specified inside this character class, so this is going to be matched apart from ijk, which is not ijk. So if I consider ls chap not equal to I, j and k means, okay, so it is not going to match these files, chapter I, chapter j, chapter k. Instead it is going to match chapter m, chapter z, like this. So apart from those three characters, it is going to match any other character of that character class or within that alphabetical characters. Next, not negating x to z range. So single character that is not within the range, ASCII range of x to z. So here also, apart from the range what we have specified, that is x to z, so it is not going to match. Let me even give that example also, ls chap not equal to x to z, right. So it is not going to match these three characters in the range x, y and z. Instead it is going to match the character chapter I, either chapter I, chapter j, chapter k, like this. So whatever the range I have specified, that range it is not going to match. Instead the other range in bit, that is the remaining range what do we have in that alphabetical character, that will be matched. Next is what? Dot. So what does this dot represent here? So dot in the Unix system again, so far star question mark was used for what? Matching the files. So now what if in case if I have the file which is going to start with the dot, so how do I match that? So for matching those kind of patterns we are going to use this dot. So like ls dot star or ls dot p. So if I want to match the file which is going to start with the dot p means, so at that time I have to use ls dot p. So it is going to match all the files which has been started with dot and followed by pattern like this, or star dot star if I provided means it is going to match any file which has started with a dot with any file name. Okay. Next is what? Pat 1 and pattern 2. So here in the Unix we do have what one more usage, that is, if you want to match dissimilar files, like I have to match in my directory, I have in my current directory, if I have 3 to 4 kinds of programming languages like Java, C programming or script programming means. So how do I match these dissimilar kinds of files? So at that time I can what, combine those dissimilar files pattern in this way within the curly braces by separating those with the comma. So this is going to match with those kind of files. So ls star. So if I want to match with the files which is going to end with C, which is going to end with Java, which is going to end with what, one more, that is Python, like this. So at that time I have to use this star dot C comma Java comma py. So it is going to match .c file, .java file, .py files. So these are the different kinds of dissimilar file matching by using this curly braces. So these are the different wildcards which can be used in the Unix system. These are the different wildcards which can be used within the Unix system, file system. Okay, I hope this has been understood with the different wildcards, how to use that. I have given an example for each and every one, everything within this, how it has been matched. Okay, so this is how it is going to match the different file patterns by using this wildcards in the shell. So whatever the arguments and the option you are going to provide to the shell command, so by using these special characters it is going to identify and it is going to match those kind of files. So let me go with the next concept within this. So now we have done with this matching the star, question mark, ij character class, negating the character class, matching dot, then matching what, dissimilar patterns of file now. So now even you can what, the next concept within this we have is what, escaping and quoting. Escaping and quoting. So if I want to remove any wildcard special meaning, so I can use this escaping and quoting. So this escaping uses what, this for backward slash, whereas quoting uses what, double quotes. So if I want to remove the special meaning character which is represented with the wildcard while matching any file pattern means, so just go with this escaping and quoting concept. So if I have provided this to a wildcard before the command, before that argument after the command means, so this is going to be remove the meaning of that wildcard. Likewise, if I have enclosed that wildcard with the double quotes means, it is going to just ignore the meaning the special meaning of it, and it is going to print or get you the output as you want. So that is what this escaping and quoting does. So let me take one example and show you. So if I have considered, if I want to match this kind of a file, let me go with the first one, that is escape. So ls chap star. So now I want to list out ls-l chap star. Okay, I want to list out the attribute content of that, the file which is the file name which has chap star itself. I don't want this star to get the special meaning of it, because here I have created a file itself with the name what, chap star. So this complete is one file name. Okay, so this complete is one file name. So this is complete is one file name. I don't want the meaning to be interpreted with the star as what, for matching any kind of a character, but I want the file name which is having with the chap star, the name itself is a chap star. It has to list out me what, the content, 7 attribute output content of this chap star file. So at that time, just to ignore the meaning of this star, special meaning of it, you can use this escape. Escape means it is going to ignore the special or escape the meaning of what, this star. So at that time ls-l chap, just use this. So at that time it is going to ignore the meaning of this and get you the output of you want. So this is how escaping work. Likewise quoting. So let me consider with one of the command, echo command, in which I am displaying with the message like Unix system and shell programming files. Okay, so let me consider with the quoting example as echo. The Unix system and shell programming files contain symbols like greater than, less than, pipeline, then star. So we do have a meaning for all these characters in the Unix, but I don't want those meanings to be interpreted by the command echo within the shell here. Instead, I want all these symbols to be printed as it is. So how do I do that? So you can do that by enclosing those symbols inside what? Double quotes. So that is what I have done here. So if you have enclosed that with the double quotes means, then you can what? Retain as it is the symbols how I have displayed with an echo, and you can ignore the meaning of these special symbol. So this is one example of showing what? How this escaping and quoting work. So this is about what? Escaping and quoting. Likewise in quoting, even you can have what? A single character enclosed, that is you can enclose the character special meaning symbol within the single character also. So if I want to just display the or echo what? Just a slash. So at that time if I give what? Echo slash like this, it is going to interpret the meaning of this slash, but I don't want that to happen. Instead I want this slash to print as it is. So how do I do that? You can enclose that with the single quote. Likewise if I want to echo what? The slash n to be printed as it is, slash n slash t has to be printed as it is, means even you can do that by enclosing that with a double quotes or a single quote. So this is going to remove the meaning of what? Slash n means entering into the next line, slash t means the tab, providing one tab space. So you can ignore the meaning of those special symbols and you can print as it is like slash n and slash t. So this is about your quoting. Likewise escaping, as I have already specified. So if I have given like this, if the file name itself is chap star, I don't want this meaning of the star to get interpreted, but I want this chap star to be printed as it is. Let me consider echo chap, okay, not echo, ls chap star. So I want this file to be printed as it is. It has to restore the files which is chap star itself. So at that time you have just to ignore the meaning of the star, just use what? Escape sequence character, that is backward slash, and it is going to print me with what? Chap star, the file name. So that is about your escaping and quoting. Okay, so next is what? Escaping the space. So even if the user want to escape the space by using this escape like echo, okay, slash, if you want to just ignore the space, let me consider I have a what the message to be displayed as echo followed by okay, let me consider rm my document dot rm my space document dot doc. So if I want to escape what? This space, and I want the complete file name my document like this, but I do have a space here. So if I want to just remove the space and remove the file with what? Dot doc. So at that time you can use this escaping character backward slash, and you can remove the meaning of this space. You can remove the space and you can just remove what? My document dot doc. So this is one more variation of using the escaping character, that is escaping the space itself. Likewise, even if you want what? With the quoting, as I have already specified, one is with the double quotes and the other one is with the single quote. Like this, you can use the escaping and quoting concept within the shell interpreter cycle. So, in this, the next concept after understanding this escaping and quoting itself is what? Removing the meaning of the special characters. So, how we are going to remove the meaning of a special character in the shell interpretive cycle is by using the concept called what? Escaping and quoting. So, by using these two concept or terminologies, you are going to remove the wildcard meanings or special meta characters meaning by using this escaping and quoting. So, the next concept within this shell interpretive cycle is redirection. So, what do you mean by this redirection? So, in this we do have 3 standard files. So, by using this redirection concept, you can categorize in the Unix it has been categorized with 3 standard files. Okay, so those 3 standard files or redirection files are here as one is standard input file, next one is standard output file, and the next one is standard error file. Okay, so these are the 3 different redirection files which has been used, and those 3 standard files or redirection standard files are, one is standard input file, standard output file, and the last one is standard error file. Standard error file here. So, what do you mean by the standard input file? So, what actually this redirection or 3 standard file, why we go with this 3 categories here? So, while once you always logged into your system and open the terminal means, until and unless you key in something, it will be in the idle state, right? So, here, and whatever the input you are going to provide or the output you are going to get, that will be displayed, and even the error message will also get displayed here. So, here we are always, once you open the screen, so a window screen, a terminal will be opened. So, that terminal is represented by using this standard files. So, these 3 standard files, that particular terminal, what we are going to always tell you, like once you have logged into the system, a terminal is going to open, a screen with a terminal it is going to open. So, that terminal is represented with this 3 standard files. So, you can categorize it into 3 standard files. So, that terminal there, it includes what? 2 files have been used for displaying and 1 file is used for providing an input through the keyboard. So, that is what those 3 categories has been used here. So, those 3 standard category files are, one standard input file in which you are going to get the input through the keyboard. Okay, that is one of the standard file. Next, standard output file, always the output will be displayed on the screen, that is on the terminal. So, on your terminal you are going to key in something, so that is standard input file, and the output file is, once you, after executing the command on the terminal, you are going to get the output, right? The message will be displayed on the terminal. So, that is known as what? Standard output file. Next, standard error file. So, while executing, if you get any error of that particular command execution means, so even that will be displayed on the output screen or on that particular terminal screen. So, we again categorize that into a display. So, these 2 are used for displaying files, and this has been used for providing the input through the keyboard. So, let me discuss one by one with all these 3 categories of standard files. The first one within this is standard input file. Okay. So, as I said, so the shell is going to associate all these 3 standard files what I have discussed just now. So, shell is the one which is going to associate these 3 redirection. So, redirection here is a special operator will be used for all these 3 standard files which has been associated by the shell itself. So, which has been categorized in the form of what? Standard files. So, in this standard input file here, what happens? The file representing an input which is connected to the keyboard. The file which is representing the input which is connected to keyboard. So this is standard input file. Next is what? Standard output file. Standard output file. So this standard output file, the file representing the output, but it has been connected to the display. Okay, file representing the output which is connected to display. Right. Likewise, standard error file representing the error message which is connected to display again, which is connected to display. So these are the actual meaning of what? The three standard file associated within the shell. Once you logged into the system, a terminal will be associated with these three standard files. Whatever the command you are going to provide as an input will be associated with this standard file. The message which you are going to display as an output will be associated with this standard file, output file, and the error message which you are while execution of a command, if any error occurs, so again that will be associated with this standard error file. These two are connected to the display. This is connected to what? A keyboard, because you are providing the input to the terminal. So it is connected to keyboard. These two are connected to the display screen. So now let me discuss, as I said, one by one. The first one is standard input file. So standard input file, as I have already specified, that is representing the input which is connected to the keyboard here. So when they are used without the arguments, let me consider one of the example for this. So if I have cat command or ls command, or let me consider the one more command, that is wc command itself, not ls. Let me consider this cat command and wc command. So what does this cat and wc command usages? So cat, as I have already said in the previous session, so cat command is used for two purposes. One is for viewing the content, whatever the argument you are going to provide as a file name to the cat command. So that particular file content will be viewed. That is one purpose of using the cat command. The other purpose of using the cat command here is what? If the user want to create a file, and he has to enter the content within that, or edit the content within that file, means he can use what? Cat command. Likewise, wc command. So what does wc command does? It is going to get you the count of number of words, characters and lines within the file what you have given. Even if you have not provided as an argument a file name as both for cat and wc command, the shell is going to prompt you with what? Entering the content for that particular command by creating a file itself. Okay, so that is what if you have not provided a cat and for the wc command any argument, a file name argument, if you have not provided, it is going to prompt you with what? Entering the input by using these two, cat and wc command. So at that time it is going to prompt you with one of the symbol, that is greater than symbol, once you execute this cat command without what? A file argument. So if you have access without providing a file argument, means, so by default it is going to prompt you what? By entering some content on that particular terminal, keying something into that terminal. So that it is going to use what? At that time a redirection operator, that is greater than symbol, which is usually used for what? Providing an input to the system or to that particular terminal. Sorry, the symbol is not this one. So symbol is this. So it is going to use the symbol less than symbol for prompting by saying what? Provide the input for the command cat, because cat is one of the command which is basically used for what? Providing the input for the file which you want to create. Okay. So this is going to prompt you. So again, this is one of the redirection operator which is acting as an input source for the standard input file. So there are three, this standard input file can be represented with three kinds of input resources or input sources. One is the keyboard itself. The three input sources for the standard file is, one is the keyboard itself. Keyboard itself, it's a default. Okay. Next one is redirection operator, redirection symbol, that is less than symbol. So this is one more symbol which is used, a file using the redirection symbol, that is less than. And the last one is what? Last one is by using another program file, that is pipeline, using a pipeline. Pipeline means this symbol. So using this you can input or provide the input for the file, that is a standard input file can be provided and can provide an input for any of the command, that is one is the keyboard itself and the other one is redirection symbol, that is less than symbol, and the last one is another program using a pipeline. So these are the three ways of providing an input to the command in the Unix as an input. Okay. So here let me consider one by one with a example. Let me consider cat less than symbol pg.c. So if I use, one is as we said a keyboard itself. Okay, so it is default. So I am going to skip that. The next one is what? I am going to, since it is a default, you people will understood. So keyboard means always you are going to provide an input through the keyboard. So the next one is using this redirection operator, that is less than symbol, how we are going to key in or provide the input for any command what you have been provided here. So let me consider a cat command with the redirection symbol less than symbol pg.c. So which means that even this file is not there. So if the file is not existing in that current directory means it is going to create this pg.c. But if it is already there means pg.c file is already there means it is going to override the content which is already existing within the file pg.c. So whatever the content now we are going to enter here, # include stdio.h, next void main. So this is going to prompt you with what? Providing do key in the input. So it is not going to point the cursor itself directly for executing next command. Instead it is going to prompt you with entering the input for the file pg.c. So int I cout I printf, close this. So this is how it is going to ask you to enter the input for the file pg.c. So if you want to end up with this particular editing content with the pg.c means just use the key Control D. So this is going to end that particular editing the content, interrupt that particular command which you are trying to execute, and it will come out of it. So and it is going to get you the prompt once again. So Control D. So this is how one of the way of using the standard input file, that is cat less than or redirection symbol pg.c. So if this file is not there, it is going to create. If the file is already existing, it is going to override the content of this whatever I have provided with here. Next is likewise if I consider one more example, wc. So wc with less than s dot sample dot text. So what does it do? Sample dot text. So again, this after the execution of this command, it will prompt the user to enter the input for the file sample dot text. So here you have to enter the content here, hello world, welcome to Unix program subject, and from coming out of this editing mode, just press the command Ctrl D again. So you will enter into you will get you the prompt, and you are going to come out of that particular editing mode. So now we do have how many lines? So it is going to display with, after pressing this Ctrl D, display with what? 1, 2, 3 lines. How many words? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 words. Characters it is going to count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 37 characters. Even it is going to count what? Spaces also. Okay, so this is what the output you will get once you execute with this wc less than symbol sample dot text. So this is one of the way of using your standard input file. One is a keyboard itself you are going to provide as an it is a default standard file, and the next one is redirection operator symbol. Pipeline I am going to explain in the next session, because we do have a concept pipeline itself. So once I go with that topic, I am going to explain the third usage of this standard file, how we are going to provide an input using a pipeline. So these are the two ways of accessing the standard input file. So the next file in this is standard output file. So standard output file. So how does this standard output file do here? So what is the meaning here? So again, as I have already said, standard output file is nothing but it is going to represent the output message or the output on the terminal screen by connecting to the display, right? So here also we do have 3 ways of what? Accessing. There are 3 possible destination of displaying the stream of data here. So all commands, whichever the commands we are going to use for outputting the content, so all those commands is going to be display that content on the display screen, right? So that stream of data. So likewise, a stream of data which you are going to provide as an input to the standard input by using the standard input file here is by using those 3 ways. Here also we do have three possible destination of a data stream which is going to be displayed. In that, the first one is terminal. So the message is going to be displayed on the terminal itself. It is a default destination. Next one is what? Terminal, which is a default destination. Next one is a file using redirection symbol, that is greater than symbol once and double greater than symbol once. So this is the second way of using the standard output file, and the third way of using this standard output file here is the pipeline. Pipeline itself. Okay. So one is the terminal, so the message will be displayed on your terminal screen itself, and you can display your message by using this redirection operator, that is greater than symbol or double greater than symbol. So these 2 are used for what? Displaying the message on your or the data which you want to display on the terminal screen. You are going to use these 2 ways, and the last one is what? Pipeline. So as I said, for the standard input file, this is going to be explained in the next concept of the pipeline itself. So let me go with this first way. Terminal, as I said, so if I just give echo hello, so this is going to be displayed on the terminal itself. Echo hello message is going to be displayed on the terminal. So this is for one first way of accessing your standard output file. So the default destination for displaying the message is what? Terminal itself. Next is for displaying this message, you can use what? The redirection symbol, that is greater than and double greater than symbol. So you can redirect the content of one output into another output by using this redirection symbol. So that is what? If I consider wc sample.txt file, redirect that file to what? If I want to redirect the content output of sample.txt file, that is wc, what you will get? Output of how many number of words, lines and characters are present within this file. So that content will be redirected, that message output will be redirected to what? To the new file which you have given, like new text file. So for this it will be redirected. So this is how you can redirection symbol has been used with the standard output file, which means that you can output the content of one file to another file by using this redirection symbol. So for checking out whether the content of the sample.txt has been copied to new text.txt means, so you just use cat new text.txt. So here it will display. So previously I had created this sample.txt by using cat command, right, or wc command. So there we had three lines within the file sample.txt, then 7 words and 36 characters with the file name new text.txt. So this is what the output you will get. Sorry, this is not the output. You will get the content of this, whatever the content you had in the sample.txt will be displayed here. So that is what? That is 3, 7, 36 character with the new text.txt will be displayed. So this is about your redirecting the output of one file to another file by using the symbol, redirection symbol, or the standard file symbol greater than. Likewise, even you can redirect more than one dissimilar patterns of files into what? To a new file or to one of the directory also. Assume that if I have to place all the .c files into one of the new directory or to a text file means, how do I do that? Cat star.c, okay, then I want to place what? Make this content star.c. So whichever the file I am trying to view the content star.c, through using this cat command, the output will be displayed as what? The file which has what? .c extension, all those contents content of .c extension files will get displayed. So that output will be redirected or copied to what? To the one of the directory or to the file c_prog program directory. So you can do like this also, or to one of the text file you can copy like this. Okay, so you can redirect the output of this cat command output to this new text file. Likewise, if you want to redirect the output of more than one command execution means, so even that can be done here. So that how you are going to do is ls star.c. So as we said, you can combine more than one command just by using what? In the Unix, by separating those two commands with a semicolon. So echo ls star.c echo then cat star.c. So what happens here is the output of ls star.c echoing the content of this messages and cat star.c. So this message also can be what? So this is going to serve to insert a blank line between these two commands. Okay, so echo command is going to serve as what? A blank line will just display between this command and this command, just to make a separation of these two command execution output. So you can redirect this to what? To one of the file c_pg.text file. So even this is also possible by using the redirection symbol, that is standard output file redirection symbol. So these are the ways of accessing the redirection symbol. Either you can use this or you can use double, like this also. Okay, so this is about your standard output file. So now we have discussed with standard input file, next we have discussed with standard output file. So the next file within this redirection is the shell associated file terminal data shell associated stream of data has been associated within the terminal, right? Whatever the data you are going to provide for a shell, so that will be associated with the terminal. So that has been categorized into 3 categories using this redirection: input, standard output and error. So input I have discussed, output file also we have discussed. Next is standard error message or the standard error file. So in the name itself it says that you are trying to display the error message. So what if in case, let me consider cat file.text, you are trying to view the file cat file.text, but I don't have the file, might be there is some problem in opening that file content. So it might display the message like can't open file.txt. So this error message might get displayed on the terminal. Okay. So what type of error message it is displaying, whether it is through the input standard file or whether it is through the standard output file. So that for knowing that kind of errors, whether it is through the input or through the output or just in displaying an error output it is showing this error message or not, for checking that we go with this standard error file. So always in the Unix what happens here is, so whenever you are trying to each and every file, when you are trying to create a file, and once you have created a file descriptor number will be associated with each and every file here. So that descriptor number is actually useful for this standard input file, standard output file. So here for all these 3 standard files we do have what a file descriptor number has been associated. One is for that is for standard output, standard input and standard error. So we have those file descriptor numbers for all these 3 files are. So 0 is for standard input and 1 is for standard output file, and the file descriptor number for standard error is 2, standard error file. So these are the 3 file descriptor numbers which has been used for what? Displaying whether it is of input file error, whether it is of standard output file, or it's an error message which is displayed with that of the file. So always once you have using this stream of data with these 3 standard files means a file descriptor number has been associated for all these 3 standard files, 0 for input, 1 for output and 2 for standard error. So these descriptors are implicitly prefixed to the redirection symbol. So whenever you are trying to know the whether it is of input error, output error means, so these numbers will get prefixed with that redirection symbol. So the redirection symbol for input file is what? This is for redirection symbol for this is what? Greater than symbol, and for this it is by default to represent what? If 2 has been prefixed with these or with this means it is of standard error message through input and output, and standard error message has been displayed through input and output. Okay, so let me consider now one example and show you. The user is going to handle these standard error within the stream of data within your shell system means. So sorry, shell means, so at that time always these three it is going to handle it through this three kinds of file descriptors, that is 0, 1 and 2. So 0 is for input, 1 is for output and 2 is for error message. So here cat foo, and you are trying to redirect that to what? To one of the file, that is error file, but it might show you a message like can't open the foo file. Okay, so this message can't open the foo file message will get display. So this is going to display with what? Error stream can't be captured with this symbol. So it is going to display along with this, it is going to let you know that error symbol can't be displayed. It will show you the message like this. So at that time you have to prefix the error symbol message for this file. So foo to error file. So at that time it will show you what? Can't open the foo file, or it is going to show you what? Cat error file. So now it will display the message of what? Error message of this will be redirected to error file now. So it will going to display that error message here as cat can't open the foo. So what I am trying to say here in this is, so error, so if you want to just display the error message, which is by opening any file, if you are trying to do that, and if that file is not opening means, and if this message is going to be displayed. So now I want to redirect that message, error message, to the one of the file called error file here. So now by using this greater than symbol, which is used for what? Redirecting the output of this foo to what? Error. So whatever the output I have got by executing this, if I want to redirect that to an error file means, so at that time always you have to prefix the standard error file descriptor number, that is 2 greater than error file. So at that time it is going to what? Copy the error message or after executing this cat foo. So it will display an error message, can't open the foo, right? So that will be copied, that particular output message what you have got will be copied to an error file, and if you just want to know whether it has been copied or not, just execute cat error file. So it is going to show you like this. So this is about your standard error file. Likewise even you can use for less than, that is for the standard input also. Okay, so this is how the 3 standard files have been associated within the shell. Once you logged into the system and once you open your terminal, the stream of data of characters will be accessed by using these 3 categories of files, that is standard input file, standard output file and standard error file. Input is basically used for providing the input which is connected to the keyboard. Output file is usually used for displaying the output which is connected to the display screen or to the terminal itself directly. Next, even the error file is used for displaying the error message which is connected to again to the display. And in the standard error file, always for all these 3 files, a file descriptor will be associated. Using that file descriptor number itself, you have to access the error messages which it has been displayed. Okay, so that is about your 3 standard files. Redirect, that is standard input, output and standard error file. Okay, so these are the topics what we have discussed in today's session. One is about the wildcard, and the next one we have discussed with what? Standard files, 3 standard files. So the next topic within this is connecting the commands, which is discussed with respect to the pipeline. So that we are going to discuss in the next session. Okay, thank you.